You know, we've talked about the future of Walt Disney World quite a bit. We really have. We've talked about a year away, 2 years away, 5 years away. But in today's video, we're going to talk about something that is very difficult to predict. We're talking about 50 years into the future. Future! Now you may be saying to yourself, Michael, this is impossible. Absolutely impossible to predict that far in the future, and you are not wrong. If we went back 50 years and asked friends and family what they believe 2020 will look like, they probably wouldn't get that close. They might get a few things somewhat right, like Star Trek got a lot of things right, but they'd also say we'd be in the Matrix and Terminators would be running all over the place, and there would be a lot of different stories about what would happen in the future, but they may get some ideas right. So in today's video, we're going to think about those some ideas and what Walt Disney World will look like on its 100th anniversary. I know we haven't officially gotten to the 50th anniversary yet, but just for the sake of argument today, it's going to be fun. We're going to think about it together, the future of Walt Disney World. Now, since predicting the exact future is impossible, I'm going to talk about some general topics like dining experiences and nighttime spectaculars and get a little bit specific where possible. And we'll see in 50 years how accurate we are together. Let's think about dining experiences first, and I would envision that we're still going to be eating regular food, right? We're not going to be eating things in like pods, right? Like space food, right? So real food. It will likely look a little different. It will likely taste a little different, but I think we're still going to be ingesting food for energy. Okay, there's going to be some kind of computer system in place that predicts what you want before you get to the restaurant. I already sound like I'm in a Terminator movie. I know what you're thinking. No, it's just gonna be something associated with your ID and being there. Just imagine just a magic band, may not be a magic band, but some other form of ID. I hope it's not a chip in your hand, but something where it knows you, and okay, Michael's coming, and he usually likes burgers. So let's get a burger ready, and then when he gets here, he'll probably want a burger. You know what I mean? I think they're gonna try more of these predictive technologies to kind of be ahead of you in terms of what you may or may not want. Now, of course, when you get there, you can say to yourself, I don't feel like a burger, I feel like steak instead. And then they're ready anyway. They'll be ready with something else. But I think they're gonna try and predict what we want before we get there. In addition, I believe that the food will be prepared like that. It'll be so fast, we won't even be able to fully situate ourselves in our seats. We'll sit down at the restaurant and then, you know, okay, food's there. That's how fast. It'll be so fast. Now, it is possible we'll see robotic chefs, robotic waiters. I envision a lot of robots. That's me. I'm a robot future. But somehow, automated systems either cook or bring you the food so that it's just very convenient, very easy, and it always is the same, so they can be consistent. Now, I want to be absolutely clear on one thing before we get too far ahead of ourselves. Robots cannot replace all the cast members, not even close. They'll be able to help out in certain areas, like cooking things behind the scenes, but cast members make Walt Disney World. That's a big part of this. I don't want to take away from that at all. Robots to help, cast members make Walt Disney World. In addition, I expect a lot of holograms, just like holograms of food. Okay, I want this burger, I'm gonna turn it around virtually in this hologram, and I'm gonna touch it, and I'm gonna remove the bun and put mayo where I want it. It's going to be high tech like that. That's what I envision. Now let's consider some of those Disney resorts, and I envision not only the demolition, but total reconstruction of most, if not all, Walt Disney World resorts. Many of the Walt Disney World resorts have been around for over 40 years, and it's great to see them. We love them. Polynesian Village Resort is an example, but you'll notice that they continuously update pieces of it. Let's take the Polynesian for a moment. Great resort, love it. How much is going to need to be changed there? I don't think that much. Like a little bit, you know, substantial, all of the tile work, the walls, the painting, that will all be changed. Those are the little things that get changed with time. But if we go next door to the Grand Floridian, I believe that is going to be a 100% totally new resort. Not take away from what the Grand Floridian is, but I don't believe it will be the Grand Floridian anymore. It's an amazing resort, it is, but I think it's going to be totally different. Again, I don't think it's going to be like a futuristic resort. They're going to stick with that theme, like the older style, classical theme, but they're going to update it in full, no doubt about it. Not just that one, all the resorts. I believe most, if not all, will get a complete demolition or total remodel from top to bottom. In addition, I believe over the years Disney's going to get a lot more popular and we're going to see many more resorts. We can see the beginning of it now with Reflections, the Lakeside Hotel, Star Wars Hotel. Perhaps we'll see more like the Star Wars Hotel in the future. We'll see what it looks like, but that may be the future of hotels right there. But something like that, some experience hotels would be great, and a lot more of them. Now, since we're talking about more rooms for guests and more resorts, you know I've got to bring up the next topic: a new Walt Disney World theme park. We have been thinking about this one for some time. We really have. We've been considering it. When could it be? It'll be announced soon, late, I don't know. But within the next 50 years, you can almost guarantee we will see a new Walt Disney World theme park. On that note, it may not just be one, it may be two. I would love to see even more theme parks. 50 years is a long time. They've built 4 theme parks in 50 years, so it could be more than one. I expect, you know, a lot of big updates in the next 50 years, but there is going to be major updates to every single theme park and likely several new ones. In terms of theming, none of us can know right now. I hope that Disney makes some acquisitions to kind of buy back the rights for Marvel on the East Coast, make some Marvel park, etc, etc. We can expect to see a lot of really intense theming at all the parks in the future. Now, thinking about the current parks now, I would envision that almost every single area of every single park will be either redone, remodeled, or totally demolished and rebuilt in the future. Toy Story Land, Pandora World of Avatar, those kind of things, they're amazing, absolutely incredible. And after 50 years, Pandora will likely still be here. That's my opinion. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, I think, will still be here. But other areas will no doubt get totally renovated and changed, because without change, they wouldn't be able to move into the future. One area that I think is just too iconic to change too much is Main Street USA. I don't believe that Main Street will be changing that much. They will have changes, no doubt, but not that big of a change. Some color changes, some maybe roof shingles, things like that, possibly, no doubt. But that Main Street USA, Cinderella Castle, yeah, maybe some changes, yes, but not major ones. The rest of Magic Kingdom, however, completely different. Totally different. You'll still get the different lands, Adventureland, Tomorrowland, we'll still see it, but I envision not only the lands that we have now that are totally rebuilt, but expansions on the land. So New Fantasyland expanded, beyond the train station, beyond Adventureland, just move back, push everything out as far as possible. Just continue to expand on what they have. Now, when you're in these new and rebuilt parks of the future, you're going to be going on the new and rebuilt rides of the future. What will they look like in 50 years? I think Rise of the Resistance is a very good glimpse into the future. Total immersion, total 360 immersion. You are there, but even beyond that, customized experiences for you. You go on the Haunted Mansion and you come off of it and your entire family had a different experience because of your preferences. Maybe you have on your Magic Band or chip or whatever it is of the future and you don't like scary things, so it takes you down a totally different path, shows you different things. Customized experiences, 360 immersion. That's what I envision for the rides of the future. Now, I'm thinking about rides of the future for a moment, and one thing that does continue to come up in my mind is, what about those classics, the Tiki Room, Carousel of Progress? In 50 years from now, will they still be running? I hope they are. That's all. I just hope they are. I don't know if they will be. I hope they are, though. Those are, I feel like, expanding, not taking things like that. You know, yes, expanding and updating Carousel of Progress, yes, but not demolishing something like that. That's a little bit too iconic. Some of the things are way too iconic to remove. Updating, sure, but removing, I don't think so. I hope not. I hope not, but you never know. I think expanding is better than demolishing. Now, in terms of nighttime spectaculars, we can get a small glimpse into the future with Happily Ever After, but why am I talking about Happily Ever After? Think about the projections on the castle for a moment, and in the future, 50 years in the future, not just projections on the castle, projections everywhere. On the tree, on the ground beneath you, all right? So Moana is on the castle, and the waves aren't just on the castle, they're all over. You are literally in the ocean when you are standing on Main Street USA watching the fireworks. You are in the ocean. You don't feel any water, you don't get wet, but the 3D projections, whatever they have. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if it's projection mapping, but this future idea is going to actually immerse you in the fireworks spectacular in a very different way. But I really, really believe that fireworks will still happen. The storytelling to it will be enhanced even further, my opinion. I also believe that drones will be a part of that in the future. Perhaps they'll be used as part of this very special projection mapping where maybe as Moana goes by, just using Moana as an example, you can actually see a stingray kind of go right over your head. And that's actually a drone that's like disguised as a stingray. Not in a way that we think about it now, like wearing an outfit. No, like projecting. Think about Spider-Man. Spider-Man Far From Home, where you can see the projections of those creatures with those drones. That's the idea I'm thinking of. They actually create the creature with projections from the drone. That's where I'm getting this idea from, Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, in terms of meet and greets, I believe they're going to be enhanced to a whole new level, not just with the characters themselves, but with what they say to you. And I said that right, say to you. I personally believe that talking characters are the future. I think so. And I think that when they go to give you a hug, all right, let me give you an example. Mickey comes up to me, Michael, good to see you. He is saying, this is what he says, Michael, good to see you. How was your day? I saw you went on the Haunted Mansion. You went through the line. I just missed you. How was that experience? What did you think? Actually having that one-on-one, instantaneous conversation with you, talking with Mickey instantaneously. I am so looking forward to that day where he can tell you about your day. How was the steak at Skipper Canteen? I was thinking about trying it. Did you like, those kind of conversations, one-on-one, instantaneous. I'm so looking forward to that. The Walt Disney World water parks are so much fun. They really are. But in 50 years, I believe that they will be all totally different. Updated slides, updated wave pools, updated attractions throughout, maybe a totally new water park of the future. It would be so, so cool to see that. 50 years is a long time, but I think water parks will still be a big part of that experience. Now onto a very difficult one, transportation systems of the future. This is impossible to predict because we cannot know. Maybe it'll be a flying vehicle that kind of lifts you up and puts you right in Animal Kingdom and you get to actually land right in front of Yak and Yeti. Or a tube system that transfers you. I have no idea. None of us know at the time. But some very, very fast, personalized way to transport you around Walt Disney World. I think it will be personalized. I think it's going to be possibly you walk in this tube, or your family walks into a car and a drone picks you up and brings you to your room, not just to Pop's Entry, to your room, and you're set to go. I believe that could be transportation for the future. Never know. Now let's move on to special events at Walt Disney World, and I believe they will be totally reimagined at Walt Disney World. Very merry, not so scary, and not just seeing these experiences, being a part of them in a whole new way that we can't even fathom right now. I don't know if it's with virtual reality or some other technology, some way to immerse us even more in special events and special experiences. And that's going to carry over into the parks as well. Again, I don't think it's a visor, glasses. I feel like we're going to move beyond that. Some way to put the characters all around you. Can you imagine Hades is talking directly to you? What do you think? Or something like, I can only envision what it's going to look like. It's going to be an extremely magical adventure. I know these kind of things are impossible to predict, but those are a few of my hopes and dreams and thoughts for 50 years into the future at Walt Disney World. I have a feeling it's going to be even beyond all of these things that we can't even imagine right now. The future is truly magical. Now those are a few of my thoughts and predictions about the future of Walt Disney World in 50 years. If you have any other predictions to add, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you, some futuristic technologies. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me today. Until next time, have a magical day.